Hi, welcome back to my channel. Na kama leo ndo siku yako ya kwanza kabisa kuja katika channel hii hapa, na itwa Jen, na katika channel yetu huwa tunashare vitu mbalimbali, book reviews, na pia tunashare story mbalimbali za watu ambao wanafanya vitu ambavyo tunaweza kujifunza mambo mawili matatu kutoka kwao. Na kama hujasubscribe, make sure you subscribe to this channel ili upate video nyingine nzuri zaidi, uweze kujifunza, uweze kupata kitu kimoja you can learn something from somebody. Hicho ndio kitu ambacho huwa naamini. Na katika episode yetu ya leo, katika tuna chat na Given. Na kama upo katika social media au ni mdau wa elimu, utakuwa unafahamu Given ni nani, na leo niko naye hapa.
Great. Hi, naitwa Given Edward, ni kijana ambaye anajihusisha na masuala ya elimu na teknolojia na namna ambavyo hivi viwili vinaweza vikatumika katika kuboresha maendeleo katika jamii na kusaidia vijana wa Tanzania. Nimefurahi umekuja kutembelea hapa ofisini kwetu. It's great to meet you.
It's so nice to meet you. Sababu getting to learn about you kwenye social media and what you do and the things that you have accomplished is so inspiring. So I'm so happy to actually finally meet you. Niambie, ni kwa nini elimu? Why of all things, why education?
Great. I think I believe elimu ni moja ya mambo ambayo yatabadilisha kila kitu kingine. Kwa sababu msingi wote wa kila kitu tunachokifanya ni matokeo ya elimu. Mtu unaweza kwenda mbali kiasi gani katika maisha ni matokeo ya elimu ulionayo au ujuzi ulionao. Information, I think that's the word I'm looking for. Information is what shapes us. Information is what defines how far we can go. And I believe being exposed to the right information at the right time has a lot to do with how well you become. So, we are in a time whereby we have people who are knowledge workers, people who just work on knowledge, and so it is very important that tuwasaidie vijana wetu wapate knowledge as quick as possible. And elimu comes very very close to me kwa sababu every time I look at myself, tangu nilianza mpaka sasa hivi, moja ya vitu vimenipush sana, moja ya ambavyo vimenisaidia sana ni kuweza kupata information sahihi kwa wakati sahihi. More like kutafuta information sahihi wakati sahihi, kwa sababu I started teaching myself upon computer when I was young, nilikuwa na miaka 11 or so. Nikajifunza kupitia kwenye simu, that kind of thing, unatafuta knowledge, and then I kept on seeking knowledge up to this point. But then somewhere along the way I felt I have more obligation to help other people do the same, get information earlier. And so that's why I'm very keen with education, and not just education, but specifically education kwa vijana ambao wako secondary. That's my area. I love those guys kwa sababu they can be shaped earlier and they can make so much changes. So while I'm okay with education being pushed everywhere, but I'm passionate personally katika wa secondary kwa sababu I believe that's where everything changes. Akishafika chuo anaanza kufikiria maisha baada ya chuo, anaanza kufikiria how can they sustain themselves. And so at that time samaki anakuwa amekomaa sana kukunja. But ukitoka secondary, when they don't have a lot, you can still shape them in the right direction. So that's why I'm very big on education, kwa sababu I believe it's what will determine how far we go as a society kupitia vijana. And then that's why I'm big on education kwa wanafunzi wa sekondari, kwa sababu I believe that's the age whereby we can shape or make or break them. Yeah.
Okay. Kuna tofauti gani kati ya MyElimu na Mtabe?
Great. I think that's one of the questions I get a lot kwa sababu I've been doing MyElimu muda mrefu. And that's what people know. But then all of a sudden, this guy, Mtabe, comes along, and then he walks around like he owns the place.
I know.
And so everybody is like, what's the difference? I started MyElimu when I was in secondary school, and I did it mostly kwa ajili ya connect wanafunzi from different places so that they can meet online and discuss. But that time nilikuwa nasoma Kibasila nyumbani Boko. And so nilikuwa nashindwa kukaa nyumbani. Nilikuwa nashindwa kubaki shule kwa ajili ya discussions. So I had to rush home. Until one day I thought, well, what if people didn't have to be in the same place to discuss? What if mmoja akawa nyumbani, mwingine akawa shule Kibasila, mwingine akawa kwenye basi, and they can discuss. So given the fact that nilikuwa nishaanza kujifunza programming, I created the platform and it did well. But then one question that I constantly kept on having is the question of what happens when wanafunzi ambao wana internet, ambao kwa Tanzania I'd say that's right above 65% ish.
True, yeah.
Wanafunzi ambao wana internet. So it's a very big market, it's a very big audience, and it is marginalized. And so I kept on hanging on that question while keeping on pushing MyElimu until something happened when I was still managing MyElimu as a platform. I set up this space katika website ambako mwanafunzi akija anaweza kuuliza swali au akisema anapata challenge, let's say anapata challenge ya kujisajili au challenge ya participate kwenye discussions, they can just ask and mimi nitawajibu because I put that piece of software kwenye simu yangu, I put it kwenye kompyuta yangu, and since I'm always on my computer and my phone, I could instantly answer questions. But then what happened was the fact kwamba wanafunzi wakaanza kuniuliza mimi pale maswali moja kwa moja. So instead of being asked questions like nimesahau password na reset vipi, maswali yakaanza kuwa what is photosynthesis or causes of the first world war. And since I was very passionate about this, I started answering them until I was like, cannot do this forever.
Yeah.
And then a light bulb also lit that one, what if there was actually a software that could answer students' questions instantly?
Yeah.
I mean, clearly there is a need. So I'm getting these questions. But then another light bulb on top of that lit, and I thought, what if this could also work by SMS? You know, so it's like doubling down on that innovation.
Definitely, yeah.
And so I started testing it, and I've tested that software for quite some time before I got it right. I must have asked at least 1,000 questions of trying it before I got it right.
Wow.
And so when I did, I created the software. I came to my teachers ambao tunafanya nao MyElimu. I asked them to get some demo content kwa ajili ya kutry, and it worked. And then I went to South Africa. I raised some funding for it, and then I came back. I established this place. I put together a team and all that, and so Mtabe came to. So what happened to MyElimu? MyElimu is still there. The one thing that we are doing right now is the platform is still functional, but not as active because we are having a shift of strategy towards that. MyElimu was more on discussions, and it still is, but it is about a bigger goal, more than just discussion. It's about 21st century skills like critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, communication, etc. And so discussions was just in the element of collaboration. But now we have this master plan. I shared it with you in regards to youth and building them. And so that's what we are working on. So once that's done, we'll have this major announcement about the direction that MyElimu is taking. So it's still there. It's just not as active as sababu. Well, we are having that shift. You know, shift happens.
Yeah, they do. Okay, I want to know one thing. I know for sure kwamba ulipata nafasi ya kwenda UDOM.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that one.
Well, that was a very funny experience, and okay, so maybe I should just give a bit of a background on that one.
Yeah.
I did HKL.
So did I.
Yeah, great. So maybe that's why we're both into talking. But yeah, I did HKL. Now that's weird because I've always been a fan of computers. Yeah. Math didn't think so, and so in as much as I loved computers, I wasn't a big fan of math, or rather, quite honest, I wasn't really good at it. And
Or
so
math did just choose you?
no, math didn't. I loved math, but it just wanted us to be friends. And so and so that was my life. I kept on teaching myself programming since I was young, and I was very good. Odd enough, I've always been very good at programming, but not so good in math. So that's a very weird.
Yeah.
I had to use programming to understand math, not the other way around.
Okay.
And so by the time namaliza A level, no university would actually take me for computer science. Even though, quite honest, I knew at least half of the entire degree program. I could do it with one hand behind my back. But they still wouldn't because I was kusoma science.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. And so the one thing that I could do was political science and public administration. And so that's what I applied UDOM, and that's what I got. And so for 1 full year, I actually did study political science and public administration.
You did?
Yes. So in a way, I think I am somewhere in the ranks of being in a place where I can formulate an opinion about politics. Maybe in the 1 millionth rank among Tanzanians, but I did study political science, and it was very good. It was very good. It was very interesting.
Would you go back for it?
No. I wouldn't do it for the degree, but I would definitely love to get involved into it. And so I was there for a whole year. And when that happened, I also applied for a degree, for a scholarship somewhere, African Leadership University. And those guys, upon seeing everything I do and everything I've managed to achieve, they said, you know what, you're really good at this stuff, and we are going to afford you that opportunity. So we are going to make it possible for you to come to Mauritius and study computer science. We are going to pay for your fees for the entire duration of the program. We are going to give you flight tickets, we're going to give you accommodation, we're going to give you food, we're going to give you everything you need to study. And so 1 year after being into UDOM, I got this scholarship, packed my bags and left. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes. And so that's how I was in UDOM, and that's essentially how I left, which ties to a bigger point of you need to believe in yourself more than you believe in other people. I mean, I didn't do computer science for the degree. I've been doing it even after I was told I was never going to be able to get a degree. And so it's very important for you to believe in what you're doing and pushing regardless of what common sense says at the time. You know, they say if you want something with all of your heart, then the universe will find every way possible to make sure you get it. You just need to show that you really want it. Consistency and persistence. And so that's really, really, really important, and that's how I was in and out of UDOM.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. So I know for sure that you have umpata awards nyingi, umekutana na malkia Uingereza na vitu vingine vingi. How does that make you feel? Does that, change the way you feel about yourself, the way unajiona, au yani imecontribute nini hizi awards zote?
Yeah, they're good, to be honest. I'll talk.
Animation them actually.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see. Well, I'll start with the biggest one, the Queen's Award. Yeah. I got that because of MyElimu and the fact that I created it out of nothing, and I was able to impact people to use it, and then it started being used even outside Tanzania. So that was really cool. It made me feel good. It made me feel appreciated. The one thing that I did not allow it to make me feel is that I've made it. If you had met me before the award and now, I'll be pretty much the very same person in terms of how I interact with people, in terms of how I pursue things, and in terms of how I carry myself. I think it's important for you to maintain that hunger and that thirst of a beginner. Beginner's mindset again. Just maintain that ile kiu yani inabidi ifike hatua uko juu ya mlima Kilimanjaro, sema ulivyojaa moto kama ndio unaanza, you get. So that is one thing I made sure that doesn't change. And so there was the Queen's Young Leaders Award. Which other awards? I don't know, I'm forgetting a number of them. There was the Royal Commonwealth Associate Fellow, which is given to young people across Commonwealth who are doing exceptional work. So that comes in relation to the Queen's Young Leaders Award. And then apart from that, there is I don't know. I'll just tell you the ones that I remember. There is that, and there's the latest one. Well, not the latest. There was one. Okay, there was this Yajuzi Global Student Entrepreneurs Award, of which they are looking for the most innovative young person from Tanzania to go and represent the country in China next year, of which I won. Now before that, thanks. Now before that, there was the awards by European Youth. There was an award called European Youth Awards, of which they were looking for the best innovation to come out of Tanzania, of which we participated in March this year, and we won. And then after that, we were selected to participate in the Africa Finals in Ghana, of which I went, and they were looking for 4 teams out of Africa, 4 best social innovation out of Africa, to go and represent Africa and compete in the global finals in Macedonia. So we went to Ghana, and then we won in that one as well. Wow. So that was pretty cool.
I know.
And then in September, we went to Macedonia, where they're looking for the best app to come out of Africa, and we won that one as well.
That's so cool.
Yes. And so we won, and we were titled the best social innovation to come out of Africa 2018. And this Tuesday, Jumanne, I'm going to Austria for the awarding ceremony for that. So that's pretty big. Yes.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah. So that's one of them. But then another one, which wasn't an award but more of a funding I got, was in South Africa when I just had the idea from Mtabe, and I was trying to raise funding. We were able to raise around $80,000 US. Yeah, in South Africa for Mtabe. And then apart from that, we went there, me and my team of 3 people. We stayed there for 6 months, developing the business as well as improving the product, building the product actually, because we just had a prototype, so we had to build it up, and so we did. And so we went there, we stayed there for six months, and then we came back here and established this place, and then put together a team and all that. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's good to walk down the memory lane, but I can't help but think about all the other times where things haven't been so merry, things have been tough, and with every success that I mentioned, there is a number of times that things were difficult, and I had to push through. I mean, when I mentioned them, it seems like just a walk in the park. Oh, cool, you got this award and then you participated. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, and then we went there and then we won. You know,
yeah, I know.
It seems.
I think you just do it and there's nothing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But I guess we don't speak enough about the times we participate and lose. You get.
I mean, speak about that then.
There are a lot of times that I've pitched and lost, and you'd think this would happen before the Queen, but even after the Queen.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
How does that make you feel?
It humbled me. It humbled me.
It has a way, it has a way of being there,
yeah. But and this one thing you'll notice by now. I don't take these things so hard. Like I don't cry out of it. I'll be like, oh, cool, well, guess I lost. Sometimes you lose. You get.
You do.
And in my head, this is a philosophy I still have in my head. It's this big banner saying sometimes you lose. It's there. Like with everything that goes well, I just keep on thinking that sometimes you lose, and sometimes I do. So there are a lot of fails that we take, but we just don't talk about them so much. And I guess it's because people are also not interested to hear. So you participate. I've been pitching. I mean, my pitching has just started being recognized from, I would say, 2015, 2016. But I've actually been pitching at least since 2012 or something, or 2013.
Okay.
And after that, it has been losing and all that. But when you lose, don't lose the lesson. And so you learn, you improve yourselves until the time where you stand, you make the perfect pitch, and a person comes to you, be like, yo, that pitch, that was just goals. Like, you are confident, you're whatever, and you know, you just get to say thank you. And it took a while to achieve that. When you look at myself or other young people out there who are doing well, don't think that you are horrible or worse kwa sababu you cannot do the things they do. They started from somewhere, and so you are also doing that. You're also somewhere right now. You're starting, so just keep on pushing, perfect your methods until maybe 5 years or less from now, a person will be looking at you from a TV or from YouTube and say, I wish I can be like that, you know. I have other peers, and we usually meet and laugh every now and then. Because right now we are both doing great. We both have our businesses running, but when we meet we laugh. Like, nakumbuka siku yetu tulikuwa tumekaa tunakutana hapa tunashindana blah blah, and we'll be talking about 6 or 7 years ago. When we're just small people, you know. And so that's the one thing to note, that you have to start from somewhere, which brings me to a point. People wanasema kwamba watu wanapeana kazi, opportunities kwa kujiona. I guess for me it's more of kupeana out of trust. But even more than that, you should try create your network. And you don't create your network with people when they're already people.
Right.
You get, because then you just seem like an opportunist.
Sasa.
You need to find people who you think are like sasa hivi and help each other grow, then they become your network in the future. You get. Every person in my network right now, I can trust knowing them at least 6 years back. So when I go to them for help, or when I go for them to ask them to partner, or vice versa, I know I can vouch on this person. They're not just coming to me for this, but it's because this is something they've been doing, and they know what I've been doing, and we're working together. You don't create networks when people are people. You create them when people are nobody, and you build yourself up to become something. I just really wish I could find young people who are determined and sit down with them and just help shape them. That's the reason why I'm looking into creating an innovation hub for secondary schools, so that I can just find other young people who are doing well and connect them with vijana, so that tuwakuze.
This has been so insightful. I mean, I've learned a bunch of things. Yani nimejifunza vitu vingi sana tofauti na nilivyokuwa nimekuja. Yani ile kwamba unamuona mtu like on social media, like, but how do you like the whole story behind the person, labda kitu gani kinamdrive kufanya vitu au personality yake ipo vipi. So when you get to meet people, you get to learn about them and you get to understand way better, I mean, in a personal level. So this has been really amazing. I'm so really happy I came, and I hope you guys have learned something from Given. I because I did. So thank you so much, Yani, for this whole thing.
Great. I'm always very keen to share more. I mean, I learn a lot of things as I go. Some of the things I learn are more philosophical and shape my thinking. Other things I learn are more technical and shape my business. And other things are personal and they shape my relationships. And so I'm just glad I could be able to share the things that shape my mindset. And now I want to set up a hub for secondary school students so that I can share the things that shape my technical self and help young people learn from those things. Yeah, so I'm just glad you came and afforded me the opportunity to share with other people. I'm always open for conversations.
I think I'll be back.
Cool,
That's
you're welcome.
for sure.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I'll be back. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode with Given Abets. It was really fun. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. There are so many videos coming huko mbele, and you get to learn more things. So make sure you do subscribe and like the video and share with your friends. They can learn something from it. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Sababu just because hauna hela doesn't mean hamna hela. Two different things.
Yeah.
You get?
Yes.
You just don't have it in your pocket. So the question shouldn't be I should do this because sina hela. It should be how do I get hela ya kufanya hii.